to be still. Teach me to be still. Teach me to lay down, to give up all my strength, lay my armor on the ground. Show me how to rest on the altar of your will. I know that you are God, so teach me to be still. Teach me to be still.
Thank you, God, for the victory.
Teach me to be still. Teach me to be still. Teach me to lay down. I give up all my strength, lay my armor on the ground. Show me how to rest on the altar of your will. I know that you are God, so teach me to be still. 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 Teach me to lay down, to give up all my strength, lay my armor on the ground. Show me how to rest on the altar of your will. I know that you are God, so teach me to be still. 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 Teach me to lay down. I give up all my strength, lay my armor on the ground. Show me how to rest on the altar of your will. I know that you are God, so teach me to be still. 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 Teach me to lay down, to give up all my strength, to be still. Teach me to lay down, to give up all my strength, lay my armor on the ground. Show me how to rest on the altar of your will. I know that you are God, so teach me to be still. Teach me to be still. Teach me to be still.
このきらめき見て
Teach me to be still. Teach me to lay down. I give up all my strength, lay my armor on the ground. Show me how to rest on the altar of your will.
もっと面白いことをするわよ
You are God, so teach me to be still. 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 Teach me to lay down. I give up all my strength, lay my armor on the ground. Show me how to rest on the altar of your will. Know that you are God, so teach me to be still. 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 Teach me to lay down. I give up all my strength, lay my armor on the ground. Show me how to rest on the altar of your will. I know that you are God, so teach me to be still. 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 Teach me to lay down. I give up all my strength. Lay my armor on the ground. Show me how to rest on the altar of your will. I know that you are God, so teach me to be still. 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 Teach me to lay down.
貴様の力を認め
My armor on the ground. That's impressive. Show me how to rest on the altar of your will. You are God. Teach me to be still. Well, thank you, God, for the win. 7 wins in a row. And
Teach me to be still.
Wow. So we're gonna take off. Oh wait, what's up? Hey Jen. Oh, since you showed up, I'll. Damn. I can watch the replay and just commentate if you're interested. Armor on the ground. And you can also add me as a friend. Me how to rest in the altar of your will. Know that you are God. So teach me to be still. Okay, I can't. Teach me to be still. Okay. So we're against the most a new deck, basically a new deck. So our opponent's deck is a byproduct of the new mini expansion. Their game plan is to draw as many cards in the deck, and they deal 1 damage for every card they draw to a random enemy. And a lot of players aren't sure how to overcome them because it seems some people think it looks invincible, but it's not invincible. So our game plan right now is to the game plan's always trying to kill them as fast as possible, but they have a lot of tools to heal themselves back up, and they can keep dealing damage to you. So they're never in danger really early game, but we're playing out our cards as fast as possible because we're thinking, okay, we need to apply pressure. And Deus Ex Machina, pause. This card in my hand, this Portalcraft card, is a 5 cards card and says when you have an even number of cards in your deck, this blue thing on the left hand side is resonance. It means you have an even number of cards in your deck, and you can tell that this bar right here shows that there's 42 cards in my deck. When there's an even number of cards in your deck, it lights up. When it's odd, it's dull. And the whole idea is when Deus Ex Machina, this card, is played, if there's an even number of cards in your deck, your hand, at the end of your turn, you discard your hand and draw 6 more new cards. So the reason why we're okay with playing everything out is because we know on turn 5, we've already timed it. We're even now, so if we draw 1 more card, we'll have odd in turn 4, and then we'll have even on turn 6. Turn 5. And turn 5, then our whole hand will discard and we'll refill. So that's the game plan with our Deus Ex Machina. And we drew 2, which is not bad. A lot of people don't believe in this card anymore. They think this card sucks. I think it's amazing. So we pass our turn, nothing to play really. So this is where they play, my friend calls this card the blue alien. Now it's a red alien. But this is the new card that was added by our friends. Added in the new expansion. And this card reads, every time you draw a card, deal 1 damage to something. So what's he going to do? He's going to start, before he attacks, he's going to draw. I think, so what he's going to do is he's going to draw after this, hoping it hits the 3-1. And he wants to see, I don't think I agree with how he did this, because if I was him, I would have attacked this 1-1 so that when he draws a card, it'll only 50-50. It either hits the 3-1 or hits me. And he'd rather hit the 3-1 than hit me at this stage, right? But instead he's going to do it randomly because he's more conservative than I am. I'm more ballsy, I guess. Like I would literally he wanted to make sure the 3-1 died, so he drew hit card, deal 1 damage to anything randomly. It had 3 options. It either hit the 1-1, the 3-1, or the me. And so I would have actually just attacked straight up, and it would have increased the probability of hitting the right one. That's just what I would have done, personally. So this card draws him cards next turn. So he's already begun, it's a machine gun. So he's begun his machine gun. Yeah, then no choice. Exactly. And so this is where we play our Deus Ex Machina turn. You see it's lit up. We're on resonance now. We have the even number of cards, 40 cards. And so everything in our cards is going to be discarded. And he's got the machine gun going because his deck can literally draw the whole deck. So he can do a 29 damage. Alright, but that's the interesting thing about his deck. It can only do 29 damage, which is one of the weaknesses of the deck. It can only do as much damage as there are cards in his deck. So if you keep on populating the board with creatures that he accidentally hits, he's going to run out of damage. So there's a finite number of damage this deck can do. Okay, so Deus Ex Machina is now online, and she also has a second ability which makes her worthwhile, because she's kind of she's kind. Yeah, at this stage she can only do 29 damage. That's basically like that's how we have to think about it, right? And so, but it's randomly distributed. So if you keep on putting creatures here, then it's not going to kill you. And so this Deus Ex Machina has a second ability, which is why we play her. And so the redraw is amazing, but the second ability is a mana cheat. Every time you play an artifact creature, this is an artifact. And all this in this game, this is a word is woo. This final character is woo. So all the cards that say woo in this, like here, you see this creature type artifact woo. Those cards will all cost 1 mana less. So if I play a 5 mana cost card, it's going to give me 1 mana back. So she basically costs 4. And in this case, we will not play this middle card, Biofabrication, because Biofabrication here reads, it's a 0 cost card that says discount a card artifact in your hand. So you can discount the 5 to a 4. So it's another mana. It's another way of cheating mana out, but it also shuffles in 3 copies of that artifact into your deck. So if you shuffle 3 more copies into your deck, you're going to end up with an odd number of cards in your deck. And now I wouldn't get a redraw. So if I use this ability, this was a kind of a feels bad moment because you want to shuffle in more of these guys because these guys can storm. The Radiants are the ones that can actually kill him. But if so, we shuffled in 2 Radiants in our deck. So the thing about Portalcraft at this level is you know what's in your deck. We know what we've put in our deck. We've put 2 copies of this card in my deck. So unfortunately, we drew 1. At this stage, we want to actually discard something useless, not something useful. This card's useful. And at the same time, we technically could shuffle in 3 more copies, but then that would turn off our redraw. And if we turn off our redraw, I'm afraid we'll lose. Like if we turn off our redraw, we're not going to be able to keep up with him. And so that's just some rationale behind. So now we got our boom, flash, 6 cards drawn, we're ready to go. And we got rewarded for it, kind of, because we got our second Radiant. So everything he's doing is healing and drawing, healing and drawing, healing and drawing. So he wants to draw. So he just redrew his whole hand. So he just redrew. So he just played a card that said. Oh, also I just forgot. I don't actually remember exactly what the leader ability does, but I think this ability says when you draw a card, deal 1 damage. When you discard a card, do 1 damage, which basically makes the card that he just played the machine gun effect. Because he just played Alter Fate. Alter Fate says, discard your whole hand and redraw that number of cards. So he just straight up discarded, 6 cards? So he discarded 6 cards or something like that. And then he drew... And then, no, he discarded like 5 cards. Because he discarded 5 and then he drew 5. And then that meant he just did 10 damage. I think he just did 10 damage-ish. That's what I'm thinking. So he's just drawing, redrawing, healing, redrawing, healing, redrawing, healing, redrawing. He just has to push, draw. So you can see the card count going down 15. So a lot of players are not sure how to deal with this problem, including really good players. Some people are like screaming this is overpowered. Because it's like he doesn't need to play creatures. He just doesn't need to play creatures, and he's not trying to play creatures. He's just trying to draw through his whole deck and just machine gun you down. And then he has some burst damage from hand. So we're going to start our machine gun. We put our discount. So we just played a card that says, we just played Augmentation. Augmentation says when you play an artifact, you gain 1 artifact. Well, you gain 1 mana and you draw a mana. So we played a 5 cost card, for example, and we got 2 mana back. 1 mana from the Deus Ex Machina, 1 mana from the Augmentation. Augmentation is probably one of the best cards in this deck. If there was none of this card, it wouldn't work. So you play that, now you have 2, so he's basically a 4 mana cost card, and now we're going to keep cheating out mana. The whole idea is every time we play a 1 cost artifact, we're going to get 2 mana back, which means we're going to gain more mana back. So that's what you're going to basically see, because the turn's going to go really fast, because so you play a 1 mana cost artifact, you get 2 back, okay? Make a clone of that card, play another 1 mana cost card, get 2 mana back. Oh, got another one. Play another 1 cost card artifact. Get 2 mana back. And at this stage, we're actually a little nervous. We're a little nervous because we don't have enough Radiance in our deck. So you're supposed to basically have Radiance in your deck to finish them off. but we just drew our second one, and we didn't make any more copies of them in our deck. And so we're thinking, uh-oh, that's improbable. But you have to build a board. We build all this stuff to die. All these things need to die. None of them are ever going to make any... Their job is not to do damage to him. Their job is to take shots in the face, so I don't take shots in the face. So of course we're trying to push as much damage as possible. At this stage, we're desperate. He's getting close. I mean, there's 15 cards. But we're discarding our whole hand too. We make sure that we're at even number of cards. And one of the things powerful about this deck is its ability to manipulate whether there are even or odd numbers of cards in your deck at will. So like there are a lot of tools. Like this card, for example, can draw a card. So if you have an even number of cards in your deck and you draw a card out, you've now got an odd number of cards in your deck. Who knew? If you have an odd number of cards in your deck and you shuffle an odd number of cards, it becomes even. So just managing that is one of the key components. And all these artifacts, when they die, they actually draw a card. So we can decide when they die to help us control when we want to discard and when we want to redraw. Because sometimes our hand's really good and we don't want to redraw, and sometimes our hand's not good enough and we need to redraw or we're going to die. So this artifact died, making us draw a card, pushing us into even, meaning we're going to enter our next turn with odd. And so he's still healing, and the thing is, as long as he can heal himself out of burst range, and if he can put you at close to 6, usually, and we got kind of lucky here, is because usually they can kill us. Like usually they can straight up kill us at like with 6 damage burst is so easy for them to have. In this case, we just discounted this card from an artifact to 0 cost card, and so you can imagine if you right now we have an ability that says it's possible to gain 2 or 3 mana every time you play an artifact. What happens if you play a 0 cost artifact? You play a 0 cost artifact, you can draw a card, you can get 3 mana back, and so this allows us to suddenly play multiple Radiants to go face. So now we're kind of like, uh-oh. And we're thinking, what do we do? Our hand's looking good, not looking good. And at the final decision to play the Daze was pretty much a no-brainer here, because it's like, okay, we can't kill him. We need to make sure we don't die. And so she has the most HP. She has 5 HP. So she has the biggest chance of, if I put another 1 toughness creature, there's going to be even less. There's going to be a higher probability I die because he's just a machine gunner. It's just random. Right? So having a 5 toughness creature isn't something he's happy to see. He's looking at this thinking, why? Why can't it be a 1 toughness creature? Because if that was technically a 1 toughness creature, all he needs to do is 10 damage, instantly dead. Right? But now there's technically 13. There's 13 damage he has to somehow deal with. If it doesn't all manage, like in a perfect world, somehow there's 6 damage shots right to the face. So he draws 2, right? Draws 2. Boom, boom. Does 2 damage. Okay, draws 2. Boom, boom. And he actually for sure messed up here, because how he actually loses this game isn't I kill him. So we have 9 HP, and this is the funny thing. We have 9 HP because he's got random shots. He's got technically 7 damage. He has only 7 damage here, but he does also have, if he could discard his hand, he could technically do 14 damage. So he messed up here in terms of sequencing. Because what happens is he used Alter Fate. He just used Alter Fate and killed himself. His management of I think he would have killed me. If I was looking at that to reflect back, he most certainly would have killed me, because his Alter Fate discards 6, 7. In this case, he discards 7 cards. He discarded 7 and drew 7. So this is going to do 14 damage. But he sequenced it such that he drew more cards out of his deck before doing that. His last card draw before that wasn't necessary to kill me. So if he just did some math, he would have been like, oh, you don't need to do that. So if he just drew 2, he drew 4 right before that. He drew 2. If he drew 2, he has something at like 6 cards, about 6 cards. If he plays that other card, discard 6 cards, draw 6 cards, that's 12 damage. That would have certainly killed me. So thank God for the win, because sometimes you win because your opponents make misplays. Yeah, thanks for stopping by, Jen. I'm very happy to see you. Happy. I'm gonna go eat, and we don't always win. We lose a lot. We lose a lot. So it's nice to be able to win. We actually win against some scary decks. We went against the best deck in the format, and we managed to win. I feel good about that because this deck that we were against is it kills you on turn 6. If you just it doesn't even need too much skill to play, but if they just find basic pieces, you're dead on turn 6. Oh yeah. I'll when I come back, I can whisper you and let you know if I'm streaming, and I'll let you know. But Shadowcraft is for sure the most deadly craft. Even if played by someone who's not sure how to use it, it's very good. But if it's played by someone who's actually really good at it, they kill you on turn 6 with an 85% chance. Based off of what I've seen, there's just like 85% chance you're dead. You are most welcome. Bye-bye.